What's up, guys? It is chilly, and we're going to talk about working out in the cold. So I'm just going to ask Andrew a few questions here, and we're going to kind of dialogue about making the most out of your winter workouts. So first and foremost, our workouts are typically 10 to 12 to 14 minutes. What if you don't feel like that's enough?
Yeah, our warm-ups.
Our warm-ups.
Our warm-ups to do. Coming a little early, hop on the rower. Jumping rope and stuff is fine, but maybe ankles are a little tight, a little cold. Hop on the rower. That's going to kind of mobilize everything, warm you up pretty good. Or the Airdyne. Airdyne kind of gets that breeze back in your face, and the Airdyne may not be the best choice. Hop on the rower, row 1,000 meters, row 2K, just kind of nice, easy, nice and chill. But coming a little bit early, start prepping yourself before we even start warming up. And even on that note, if you don't feel ready to go after our warm-up, we prefer that you continue maybe mobilizing and stretching out before starting the strength, knowing that you may need to cut your strength short, but feeling ready to actually get into it, as opposed to going into it when you don't feel ready.
So we have an hour-long class, guys, and it's we're trying to prioritize everything in that tight domain as much as possible. So, on a cold morning, like, people are saying it was 30 degrees this morning and we're not insulated and
26.
stuff. 26. I mean, that's cold as shit. So if you're here at 5 or 6 a.m., 12 minutes just may not be quite enough, but we do have to prioritize getting everything in. So that extra 5 minutes of the front ends, or taking a little bit of time on your own before you truly get into strength, can be helpful.
And the coaches will do a good job of making sure that we do maybe a couple more dynamic efforts before we just get into like pure mobility and static stuff. So we'll adjust the warm-ups accordingly. But take care of yourself and get in early if that's needed to prep yourself before you even start warming up.
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side, if the second you start doing elbow instep, you're dripping sweat and you feel good. Maybe you don't need anything extra. Yeah. That's fine. All right, next, what kind of gear can help you out when it's chilly?
The first thing I recommend really to everyone, but especially as it gets cold, keep your knees warm. A nice light knee sleeve, like the hook grip knee sleeve on Rogue Fitness. You can find them on Amazon, really anywhere at this point. But this is really just for warmth. It's no support. You'll see most of the weightlifters in here wear these guys. When it's cold, wear a knee sleeve. Make sure your knees are moving well. Heavier knee sleeves, like a 3 or 5 or 7 millimeter knee sleeve. This is a Ray-Ban, Rock Tape, Tommy Kono. There's a lot of different ones. And then you guys can wear gloves if it's really basic stuff. Like if the bar is freezing at 5 in the morning and it just like hurts your hands, you're more than welcome to just wear some gloves. It's totally fine. Leather gloves are fine. Workout gloves are fine. We don't recommend it when it comes to complicated movements. We don't recommend it just when it feels good outside, because you can't feel the bar. You can't stay in contact with what you're trying to move. But for the sake of not being in pain and not being miserable, feel free to wear some light gloves or something. That's totally fine. Strict press, back squat, movements that don't really require your hands to do a whole lot of technical stuff, gloves are totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I got a final one to add to that. Show a little leg here. Got my skins on.
Tights.
Okay. So these things are great. This goes all the way down to my ankle. It basically kind of adds one extra layer. They're very movable, very breathable. And I'm wearing that plus a pair of pants. I'm feeling nice and roasty toasty. Okay. Again, you can have like, let's see if I can get my arm out here, like a neoprene or an Under Armour rash guard kind of thing. These things help tremendously to not feel like you're wearing layer on layer on layer, still feeling fairly light and lightweight with your clothing, but still staying warm. There's tons of different things. There's Under Armour, Nike makes them, Skins makes them, any other ones?
Reebok makes some good ones.
If you want recommendations, I mean, we have tons of recommendations for this stuff. We can probably include a few links to a few of these things, so you have some different things to look at. Last question. If you're not feeling quite ready, you're still a little stiff, a little still cold, should you just go for it anyway?
No, you can do more warm stuff. That's totally fine. If we're push pressing and your shoulders don't feel ready, and we didn't happen to do shoulder prep that day, feel free to do shoulder prep. Do stuff that's going to make you feel good when you're lifting. You should not be in pain when you're lifting. You should not be miserable when you're lifting. It should be hard work, but you should be enjoying it, and you should be feeling pretty good. Your joints should feel ready to go. So take your time. Add stuff as needed. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, we, in general, we enjoy pretty mild weather here for about 8 months out of the year. So during those 8 months, you can kind of cruise in shorts and a t-shirt and have a mild warm-up and feel good and get right after it. December, January, and a bit of February, it kind of sucks. And, maybe you don't get the most optimal hour possible, but better safe, better mobilized, better warm than sorry, hurt, tight, and injured.
Yeah. When joints aren't moving well and tendons and ligaments aren't moving well, That's when injuries happen. Even if you look good while you're doing stuff and you have great positions, make sure things are warm. Knee
Cool.
sleeves.
Knee sleeves.
Tights are good.
Tights. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay warm.